So from here, we're going to continue with the head nod. So just do it slightly at an angle. Breathe in and nod the head to the chest and keep your head close to the body and just allow the head to lead the back down towards the floor. Keep your knees soft. Pull the core up so your tummy muscles aren't hanging down. Top of the head to the floor. Breathe in, engage the core. So in other words, pull the core up. Breathe out, keep the head right down, neck very long, roll back up, shoulders down the back. Okay? Always done very slow, lots of control. One more time, breathe in, chin to chest, breathe out. So we're just trying to loosen the back, very slowly. And then when you get down to the floor, fingertips on the floor and just widen your stance. So your feet are fairly wide here at this point. You can go as wide as you like because I'm sure most of you are pretty flexible. So go nice and wide. I'm going to start by stretching out the legs. So from here, fingertips on the floor, palms on the floor, forearms on the floor. Pull your head down, push into the floor, bring your head down to your fingers or your hands. So you're stretching at the top of the legs, the adductors. Walk across to your right leg and hands on the floor or on your legs, gently bring your head down towards your knees. You're stretching not only your hamstrings back of the leg, but also into your lower back. Walk slowly across to the other side, keeping your head down, and repeat the stretch here. Back into the center. Bring your feet in a little bit and bring your head and body up in a curved way. All right, and then from here, you're going to lean back, stretching out in the opposite direction. Bring yourself up. Hinging forward from the hips, bring your head down parallel to the floor. Keep your tummy pulled up. Bring your arms around in line with your ears. Push back into your hips and lengthen the arms away, so you're getting another deep stretch at the tops of the legs. Lower the hands to the floor again. Bring your feet in, head down. Clasping your hand or your wrist, bring in a circular motion, anti or clockwise. As you do this, breathe in, engage your core, and lengthen the arms up to the ceiling. Keep lengthening, breathing out, all the way down, so you get stretches in both sides, and then again, up, and stretch. Then changing direction, keeping the head down again, up, breathing in, core, breathing out, down. One more, and really get those arms lengthened, so stretching the muscles up and down. Good, down to the floor then. If you stretch out one leg behind you in a straight way, so there's no bend, front knee over your heel. I'm going to start stretching the hip flexors and the quads. So from here, just turn onto the ball of your foot and dip the knee down towards the floor without touching it. And then push your hip forward so you feel a good stretch here at the front of the hip. Okay, from here, bring your arms up in a Y shape and really push the hip forward. Arms up to the ceiling. Good, and then raise your height, foot back on the floor, and then just going to gently stretch out the calf and hamstrings of the front foot. Foot down, turn onto the back leg and just gently stretch out the adductors again, familiar stretch. And change. Change again, this time go deeper. And change again and go deeper. As deep as you can. Okay, back up, changing legs in front. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Good, just beginning to stretch the hips. Go onto the ball of the foot again. Bend the knee and then tilt the hips forward. So rocking those hips forward, feel the stretch in front of the hip. Bring your arms up into a Y. Really stretching the whole body. Good, and then gently raise and lengthen both legs. And then stretch out the front leg into the calf and the hamstrings. Okay, I'm going to move on to my mat now. If you've got a mat, that's good. So from here, I'm going to do a few exercises you might be familiar with. Excuse me, going into down dog. So I'm going to roll down through the spine. As we did at the beginning, head long. As soon as you feel the tightness in the calf, walk forward onto your hands and push your hips up to the ceiling and stretch. And lengthen the back, lift the core, stretch out your calves. And then come down towards the floor, bending the knees, but don't touch the floor. Keep the core lifted, head long. Push back up through the hips, breathing out. Long head, long back and legs. Bend the knees again, one more time. Keep the head and neck long. Core lifted. Last time, up with the hips. And bend the knees. Good. Go down onto the floor, hands and knees. And move into a cat stretch. So this cat stretch and cow stretch, I'm sure Andy and Jen are familiar with, maybe Annette. Just getting the back working. So arch the spine. Change to the opposite direction, toes tucked under, head up, spine to the floor. Back up again, arching the spine. You get that lower back working and change. And last one, tuck the tail right under. One more into cow. Okay, Annette, are you okay on your knees?
Yeah, I'm good, actually.
Good, thanks. Okay. Right, so here's an exercise for balance, stability. Just make sure you've got plenty of space in front of your head and behind your legs. So from here, we're going to start by stretching out the right hand and lengthen. Keep the neck long and the shoulders flat down the back. Change to the other hand. Now the right leg or left leg behind you, just lengthen away and change. Nice and easy, but you've got to keep your back flat, you've got to keep the core engaged, but keep the shoulders down. Keep your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. So when we're doing this exercise, you can do either the hands only or the legs only, or you can bring both in. So when you do both, you must make sure your back doesn't rotate or tilt. So breathe in, engage the core and lengthen one arm and the opposite leg. Bring it back in and change. And you increase the work on this by adding in hand weights and loops legs. Breathe in, breathe out. And we'll do up to 5 reps on each side. Breathe in, breathe out. It's about control, stability, engaging your core, working your back. Breathe in, breathe out. Do one more on each side after this. Really get the toes all the way to one wall, fingertips to the other. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. From here, come down into child's pose stretch. So hands walking away from the shoulders. Bring your hips as low as you possibly can to your heels. And just breathe out, stretch the whole back. Stretching out your deltoids or your shoulders, bring the right arm under your left. And imagine that you're trying to stretch your fingertips to the opposite wall there, to your side. You'll stretch across the back. And then slowly change, left under right. Okay, let's move on to the side. So there's an exercise called, there's various exercises you can do on your side to build up strength. So I think what we'll start off with is a nice, easy side plank. So you can do this on your wrist, or you can do it on your forearm. This is at the easiest level. Come up here onto the wrist, kind of like halfway. Have the legs stacked and bent, and keep your posture tall. So we're going to start off with a side bend, I think, and then we'll move to side plank, and we'll try a hip twist. So stretching up, lifting the hips, bring your arm up to the ceiling, and then over the head. So stretching out your sides, and then gently lower down. So you can do that a few times, 3 or 4 more. Breathe in, up, and over the head, stretch out your side, and down. So this helps your core and your oblique muscles. Breathe in, engage your core, breathe out. We'll do 2 more, I think. 1. And the last one coming up. From here, I'm going to go into a side plank, same position with the hands and the feet. Lift hips up and arm up to the ceiling, just hold it there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, not too bad. Okay, let's do a mermaid stretch now. So we stretch out the opposite side, hold on to your ankles, and bring your left arm or other arm up over the head. Okay. Back onto your hands, we're going to lower down onto the floor, do some work for the spine. So what I'd like you to do is lower yourself down onto the floor. If you can't see me, just have a little look before you start doing the exercise. So bring your hands out parallel to your head, forehead on the floor, and you have to relax the whole body. So this is called swan dive prep, and we're just going to lengthen the spine, work the leg, spine, not the legs. Forehead down, relax the shoulders, very important to relax. You take a breath in, you pull your core away so you've got a fresh air under your stomach. And then push in the palms and lengthen through the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Try not to bring your shoulders up. Let them go down. It's important to keep everything relaxed. When you're not using it in exercise, breathe in, push down, lengthen up. And down. Let's do 1 more. Breathe in, engage the core, and stretch. Okay, good. Moving on from that, we'll do an exercise called swimming. This works the whole body. Stretch your arms out, and it's very similar to the 4-point kneeling one we did just now. Again, we'll start off with 1 limb at a time. So again, head down a little bit, long neck, relax everywhere. Take a breath in and stretch out or lengthen your right arm without rocking your body. Then your left. Then your right leg, stretch away from the hip, but keep the body, the shoulders and the hips completely flat and straight and square, no rocking. So what we're trying to do is isolate the limbs from the rest of the body. So bring it all 4 in together, breathe in, work your right arm and left leg, and lengthen away. So here we're working the whole back and the glutes. Breathe in, breathe out. And very slowly, again, with the fresh air under the stomach, pull the core away from the floor, don't push down. Breathe in, breathe out. You can make it a little bit more challenging by doing some rapid beats. So what you do is you work the body, arms and legs, alternating the arms and legs, as though you're actually in a swimming pool, but you do 5 beats at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pause. Breathe in, engage again. 5, and last one. Breathe in, engage, and relax. One last little exercise for the chest and the core is we're going to just use the arms this time. Bring them out so that they're in line with the shoulders. So we move them in a 90-degree arc. Take a breath in, engage your core, lift the chest, arms out to the side, and down. And relax in between. Breathe in, engage, breathe out. And down. And again, breathe in, and down. And relax. Come back into child's pose stretch. And then we'll move on to the other side to do the side bend and the side plank. And lengthen your arms. Okay, good. Come back up and we work the other side. So stack your legs up onto your wrist. And from here we're going to bring the arm up and then over the head towards the floor. So you're getting a perfect arc, like a bow shape with the body. 4 more. Breathe in and out. Good. And 3. Breathe in and out. And 2 more. Breathe in and out. Last one. Breathe in and out. Okay, coming down, we're going to move into the plank. You can hold it for as long as you like. But Andy could probably hold it for hours. So we're going to lift the hips up, arm up to the ceiling, and just hold it. You've got to still use your core here. Keep that tummy pulled in. And gently lower and release mermaid stretch. Okay, let's go over onto our backs. And where's my mouse? Okay. So from here, onto your backs. Hands on the back of your legs and just gently roll yourself back down. When you do this though, I want you to pull your tummy in and go into a full stretch, arms overhead, legs away, and just really stretch out the body. Hands down both sides. Okay. And from here, knees to the ceiling. All right, what we're going to do now is just a few little bits of exercise in terms of the breathing. I want you to take a breath in, pull your core in, and then breathe out. And again, one more time, breathe in, engage your core, and breathe out. And last one, breathe in, and out. So as you breathe out, you should feel your tummy muscles just sinking down towards the mat. Keep your neck in neutral, so it's not too arched, not too flat. Try to make sure your lower back's not too arched. So here's an exercise, a nice little one for the lower abs. Bring both legs up into a tabletop position. Okay, so your knees are over your hips and your toes and shins parallel to the floor. We're going to keep the core engaged throughout. So take a breath in, engage your core, lower your toe towards the floor whilst keeping the shape of the leg. So it's 90 degrees, and repeat on the other side. Keep your neck and shoulders relaxed. Breathe in, engage the core, breathe out. Breathe in and out. Carry on doing singles, or you can do it with both legs. Just watch your lower back, don't let it arch. It's all about engaging the core muscles. Let's do a couple more. Breathe in, out. And last one, breathe in, engage, breathe out. Good. Bring your knees to your chest, squeeze the knees in so you feel the stretch in your lower back. Bring the legs up to the ceiling, and if you can, point your toes. Gently lower your left leg to the floor. Keep the right leg pulled in, gently squeezing the leg forward so you feel a stretch to the back of the hamstring. Try to push the opposite leg down towards the mat. Good. Change legs. This is called scissors. Work your lower abs. Also helps stretch your hip flexors. Again, you're pulling the upright leg towards you, and you're pushing the other leg down towards the floor. Very slowly, lots of control. Then breathe out. Then breathe out. Maximizing the stretch. One more on each leg. The last one. Last one here. Okay, good. Again, knees to chest, release. And then feet back on the floor, knees to the ceiling. Okay, from here, we're going to do a little bit more work on the core and the spine, the quads and the hamstrings. Keep your shoulders relaxed. We're going to go work our way into shoulder bridge. First of all, I want you to tilt the pelvis up so your back completely flattens. So if you have car headlights on your hips, they'll be pointing kind of like up behind you over your head. Push the headlights away from you so they're pointing now towards your legs. So you arch the spine. And again, one more time, up. So just trying to get more mobility in the lower back. Keep rocking backwards and forwards. So we're trying to keep the legs steady, no movement here in the legs, just working the pelvis. One more time. Lifting slightly, and then arching, and then back somewhere in the middle, your neutral spine. From here, arms on the floor. Take a breath in. As you engage your core, breathing out, tilt the pelvis, lifting up off the floor into a bridge. So your hips are lifted up, arms, shoulders, and chest are relaxed, and you're stretching hopefully the front of your hips and keeping your glutes working here at the back. Take a breath in, engage your core, so push it down. As you bring the body back down, make sure each vertebrae touches the floor one by one. Really pushing that core, breathing out. So you should feel every part of your back touch the floor before you go back into neutral. So just do that a few more times. Breathe in, engage your core, roll back up through the spine. Very important. So this is excellent for spinal mobility. Breathe in, engage your core, breathe out. And again, you go up as high as you can. You don't exceed the range. Roll back down. Let's do two more. Breathe in, legs are steady, hips are level, going up. And then just repeat that, trickle back down, feeling each vertebrae. The more you push your core in, the more you'll feel your lower back on the floor. And last one, rolling up. Good, and gently trickle back down. Engaging that core, pushing through. Okay, bring your knees to your chest, release, stretch, and then just squeezing the knees in. Just rock your hips around in a circle, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Okay, stick together, knees together, arms extended out to the sides, and relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, and allow the chest to sink into the floor. Okay, so you're anchored in the upper half of the body. Keep your legs velcroed together, completely stuck. So we're now going to maximize the stretch into the hip and the lower back. As you lower your knees to one side, squeezing the knees together, look in the opposite direction, pushing the knees to the floor, relaxing the chest. Keep that stretch in place, breathe out, relax. Slowly come up over to the other side. And again, knees squeeze down to the floor, opening the chest. Good. Coming back up, I would like you to just place the knees down onto the floor on one side and bring your body over so your hands are on top of each other and your knees are all stacked up. Try to make sure your heels are in line with your hips, your legs aren't sticking out this way. Again, we're going to use the knees and the legs as an anchor. We're going to open up the chest this time. So from here, lying on your side, completely stacked up. Float one hand up, follow it with your eyes, keep your legs glued, glued, and allow the hand to go all the way to the floor. And bring it back. We'll do 2 more on this side and then we change sides. Breathe in, breathe out. Try to do it in a very relaxed way so you can feel the chest muscles, the pecs, stretching out into the deltoids and then into the hip, lower back, and come back. Okay, slowly maneuver over to the other side. And from here again, hands stacked on top of each other, shoulders, hips, knees and ankles. And again, 3 more of these on this side, slowly gluing the legs to the floor, open the chest, back. Breathing in and out. As you breathe out, you get a longer stretch. Last one coming up. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. From here, back onto your back. Do 1 more stretch for the hip, and then I hope you can manage this one. If you can't, I'll do it in various stages. It's a stretch for the piriformis muscle, literally, that behind the gluteus medius into the hip. It's a good stretch for the back and the hip area. So if you bring your right ankle across your left thigh, first stage. Second stage, lift the left leg up off the floor. Third stage, put your hands behind the back of your left leg through the gap. Bring the leg forward, force, and to make it more intense, put your right elbow into your right knee, push your knee away as you pull the left leg into the body. So you should feel a deep stretch into your hip.